Welcome back. We are somehow now mid-year. I'm not entirely sure where the hell the year is, half the year is gone, but we're in July now. It's great. I figured that it was mid-year, so everyone's doing WIP parades at the moment. I've been watching a lot of them while I've been working. So I figured I would also do one because I have changed some WIPs and finished some things and retired some WIPs and stuff, so my WIPs are a little bit different from the start of the year when I did that one. So I figured I'd do one. It's not going to be a long one. I don't have a lot at the moment. I'm thinking about making some new starts at some point in the next couple of months, just for funsies. But yeah, we've had a good stitchy month for June. There are some life updates and stuff as well. So we'll do WIP Go updates / stitchy updates, WIP Parade, and whatever the hell after that. Who knows? This is a crafting channel, but I am a chaos goblin. We don't plan this. There's no structure. There's no organization. We just wing it every time. So, for anyone that hasn't been here before, my name's Gothy. My pronouns are they, them. I mean, it's always a good reminder for people who have been here for a while too, just not that anyone's doing anything like misgendery. It's the spiel. We all know it's the spiel. So I am a trans, non-binary, queer, polyamorous, disabled stitcher from Australia, and like I said, this is a Chaos Goblin channel. I have ADHD, I'm autistic, I also have physical disabilities, so in the coming months there will be some projects that are related to my wheelchair, because I have some things that I want to do specifically for reenactment, because I recently sort of joined and actually started doing some reenactment stuff with my partner and my Metamors reenactment group. That's actually what I was doing yesterday. I was there as a reenactor. I was going to go back today, but I needed a rest day because other life update that I kind of alluded to in the last video has now all officially happened. It's all done. I actually started last week, but I have moved up from part-time work to full-time work, and I've done that because I've been given a promotion. So I'm working a new role full-time. That's going to be an adjustment period because all of the things and my really shitty relationship with sleep, which means I do ultimately lose a day of rest and crafting and whatever else I needed to do for those days. So it'll be interesting to see how much that affects how much stitching and stuff I get done, because I mean, I don't, some months I get a lot of stitching done, some months I don't, so it'll be good to see if there are any changes, and if they're positive changes or negative changes, we'll find out. So I've just finished my first week in the new role, and it has been interesting. There is drama, there is chaos, and there is just a lot of stuff happening that I'm kind of coming in for. Especially because July in Australia is the start of our new financial year, so it's now tax season, so we've got to do a lot of work around that. And because I work in and around the NDIS and my aged care programs, for the NDIS there are like rate indexes, so they do a new price guide. So there's usually an increase in rates for most people who are working in the NDIS, so that is a thing that we also have to deal with. And then my aged care works a little bit differently. They don't have rates as such, but there was an increase to the wages, I believe, for aged care workers. And because, like, the stuff that we do, it's, like, adjacent to that, but not exactly that, and it's weird and complicated. I have a weird job. And it's, like, little bits and pieces of all this other stuff. So, it's very chaotic time to be starting in a new role within the company. And it's kind of also like I'm starting in the role officially, but I've also kind of been doing the role for a little bit. It's weird. But that is a thing now. I am now full-time and have to adjust to that. So, that has just happened. Because yeah, it's the 7th of July when I'm filming this and when I will upload it and stuff. Late in the afternoon, because I'm a night owl. I'm a nocturnal. So I just had let myself have a rest day, and here we are. So, alright, start with the June thing. So for June, I was actually working on the prompts for June and for May, because I didn't finish May's WIP Go, and again, we don't plan this thing, so I don't have my WIP Go board up in front of me, so I should do that. Thankfully, it's on my little homepage here. So, May was a free space, which was I put down as working on my partner's present, for their housewarming present. Why are my months not saving? Technology. I love it. Alright, so May was to finish Pretty Little Sydney by Satsuma Street, which I did not do in May, but I have done in June. So, that is now finished. I fucking hated it. I enjoyed it when I started it, like, to a point, but I grew to hate it. So, it is finished now. I've decided I'm not going to bother ironing it or anything. I'm folding it up, and it is going in my box of finishes that is on my shelf next to me. It's done. It's done. This was stitched on a piece of fabric. I think this is After the Rain colorway from Color Cascade Fabrics, which is my go-to. So there's like bits of purple that are just absolutely not picking up on camera. They're a little bit stronger on the back. I need to work out the lighting. I'm trying different lighting again today. Do not start fighting, you little shit. This is Illidan, and this is Arthas. And they like to fight over who can sleep on the same spot in the bed. Anyway, it is finished. It is done. I think this is I want to say it's an 18 count. I was working off a paper pattern for this, so I don't have track of how many stitches or anything, but it's finished. And now I can put it away, and I don't have to look at it again, which is great, because it was a chore stitching on this. But because I was already past the halfway mark, I was like, I don't want to unpick it. I don't want to do that. But what I will actually do towards the end of the video as well, because I went into the city for my birthday in May, and there was like a part of me that was like, oh, if I finish this before then, I could take it in with me and like take a photo of it with the buildings that are in the thing, and like that'd be kind of cool. It wasn't finished, so I didn't do that. But I did take some photos of some of these buildings, so I'm going to put those at the end of the video too, just because I think that's cool. Yeah. So, it is done. It's done. I started this one. I actually found the details. Give me a moment, I'll find them. Alright, so I found the date. So I started this July 20-something. I mean, I posted about it on the 22nd of July, 2015. It's not necessarily the exact date that I started it, because sometimes I forget to post things in a timely manner on Instagram. I'm great at social media. But, yeah, July of 2015 is when I started this. And I started this as a stitch-along. So, way back in my before Flosstube days, well, not before Flosstube, my early Flosstube days, because I've been on Flosstube for a long time, and then I took a break, and then I'm coming back. Back then, I used to be part of a small group of people that used to run, we used to do like online craft hangouts. And we had a Facebook group as well, and we used to run little stitch-alongs every month in the Facebook group. So you could choose to pick a WIP you already had that met the prompt, or you could start a new project. So this one was picked for the Patriotic Sal. It also says Retro Sal. I don't know what that one was about, but I remember it being for the Patriotic Sal specifically. A lot of stitches that were in the group at the time were American, so you know, patriotic stitching is a very big thing. I have noticed. Not so much a thing in Australia, but yeah, so I just picked a little thing because I was like, yeah, it'd be cute. I could finish it and take some photos of it with the actual buildings, and then I just grew to hate it. But it's done. I'll go over there for now. So the other things that I had for May was the wolf kit, the Dimensions wolf kit, and I did get some progress on it. I did, however, also change my WIP Go goals for this project because, again, stitching on it, I realized I hate it. I don't really like it that much. So, yeah, okay, I found it. It's because instead of putting it back in the box where it belonged, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to be filming the Flosstube video soon. I'm going to put it in this drawer instead. Like a dumbass that forgets that I have ADHD and will forget where I put it. So, eventually this will all be project bags too, but... So, I changed my WIP Go goals for this, because originally the WIP Go goal I had twice on here for the wolf kit. One was to finish the face and the ears of the wolf, and one was to finish the kit. Because when I was putting it into WIP Go, in my brain, I was thinking I had the other Dimensions wolf kit that I've seen, which has got one wolf here and then like another wolf off in the background. I forgot that I have the one that is pretty much all face and ears. So I was just like stitching on it, and I'm like, I am fucking hating this. I don't like this very much at all. I am not going to stitch on this to finish the face and the ears. And if I try to make myself do it, I'm just going to stop stitching. And then I'm just not going to stitch for a whole bunch of time. I didn't want to do that. So I've changed my wolf kit goals on WIP Go to just be work on it. For both months. So May was the finish the face and ears, and then the one that hasn't been called yet was the finish. I've changed it to just work on it. As long as I do some work on it, I am happy. So this is what it will look like. I will have a picture up of what it was before I started on it for the month. And this is where we are at. And I did actually get quite a bit done. It doesn't look like I got a lot done because these sections here are, this one's mostly filled in. It's like 30, it's got like 20-30% of stitches left in there to do, but they are half crosses in white or off-white. So it doesn't show very well, but I did a whole bunch on this compared to where it was before. It was just lots of filling in stuff. And yeah, because it's a lot of the white stitches left, and I'm just like, I hate this. Just using all of the kit floss and everything, so yeah. Now, I am going to put this back on that drawer, but I'm going to put it a different way so I remember that it's there because I can visibly see it. And that's because I'm going to be pulling stuff out of the cross-stitchy box. So that was the May ones. I finished those last month. Last month was also a new start and 500 stitches on Almost Time by Tilton Crafts. So, because they were both going to be very quick ones to do, because 500 stitches I could do in one sort of sitting, 3 to 4 hours, put on some TV shows or episode of Critical Role or something, and just knock that out. And New Start, I was like, I actually kind of wasn't feeling a New Start, because like I put 3 New Starts on my WIP Go board, and all of them have been called already. So I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. If I want to make a new start, but I did end up doing something, and I'll show that in a second. But I did get the stitches on Almost Time, which is again by Tilton Craft. The artwork is by Victoria Francis, who is one of my favorite artists. I actually did almost triple the amount of stitches on this. They're all in black. It's all 310. But I just filled in a giant section of black. So this is where we are at with the project overall. I have, this way. I've stitched over to this corner just so that I know how long it is, but I still haven't trimmed the fabric down because I just haven't. So for this one, I filled in all of this, this whole section here. It's been filled in, and then I've started bringing these bits down and stuff as well. There'll be a photo for comparison. But I think I did like 1,400 stitches. Maybe more. This one is a digital pattern, and I will actually pull that up. It is a digital pattern, so just using Pattern Keeper. And clearing notifications, because that is what I do. So Pattern Keeper, Almost Time. Actually, I have to back these up for the month, because every month I back all of my in-progress ones up, just in case. Just in case. Alright, so overall I've stitched 6,331 stitches. And it is at 4.69%. I didn't intend to stop at 0.69%, but it's nice. It's fine. There are 135,000 stitches in this project overall. And I'm doing this on 18 count, just some white 8er. So, yeah. I did an amount of stitches that was, if not quite triple the amount that was called, pretty fucking close. So, yeah, I worked on that for a couple of days, which is not bad. I was quite happy. I was mostly... Oh, yes. Okay. I've just spotted... Okay, so, a couple months, I think like 2 or 3 months back, I had some projects that had like these black marks on them, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is leaving these marks on my projects. It's just like these random black smudgy marks, and I started freaking out thinking like, oh my god, like there's mold or something. Like I just could not for the life of me work out what they are. They're mostly on the back of this one, but this is one of the projects that I saw them on and then washed. But you can see these little black marks, because I was like, it must be like a pen or like some fucking pencil or something that's rubbed off on it. Don't know what it is, because this is a digital pattern. I'm not marking a paper pattern off. I don't know where the fuck this is coming from. So I soaked them and I washed them and I got the marks off, and then I'm sitting there and I'm stitching on it while I was watching. I started watching The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is fucking amazing, and I'm definitely going to watch all the rest of the Mike Flanagan ones. And then, like, my housemate brought dinner in, so, like, I put it over to the side, and I've, like, caught out of the side, like, corner of my eye, more black marks on it, and thinking, what the fuck? There's no pens, there's no pencils, nothing. And they were definitely not on there when I pulled the project out again. So I worked out what it is. Because what I did was, I cut the corner off this side of the fabric, because it's fine, And I started just running it over everything around my desk. And, well, I started around my chair because I was like, oh, maybe it's like rubbing against the armrest and maybe the armrest is dirty or something. And it wasn't. Thinking, oh, well, maybe because like the extra fabric I kind of pushed to the side, maybe there's something down the side. No, it was the fucking keyboard tray. My keyboard has a wrist rest, and it's like that fake leather stuff. And it had been peeling, but I didn't think it was peeling onto anything in particular. No, it is the thing that when like the fabric was passing over it or touching it, was leaving these black smudges on it. And it was not doing it to anything else. It wasn't doing it to my hands or my wrists or anything like that. So, the thing that had been driving me crazy about these black smudges turned out to be my fucking keyboard tray. So, I decided to resolve it that very night. So at 11 o'clock at night, I took the magnetic wrist rest off the keyboard. I pulled it apart, and like this is like a cushion. I ripped it all apart, took off all the fake pleather, and I covered it with just some like cotton fabric that I had in my stash. So I taught myself how to recover a wrist rest because I have a Razer keyboard, and one of the problems is that they don't sell these as a replacement. So if you want to get a new one, you have to essentially buy a new keyboard. The keyboard I have works fine. I don't want to buy a new keyboard. I'm happy with the one that I have. I have it set up the way I like, and it's still functioning. But these pieces are very, like, Razer keyboards are very kind of specific sizes. So even just trying to find one that was the same width as the keyboard was impossible. And I would not be able to handle it if they were different sizes. It would just set my brain off and I'd just throw it out. So I taught myself how to recover this fucker so that it stops leaving black marks all over my project. But like, it was like frantic chaos, 11 p.m. at night, chaos crafting. But I've worked it out. So now, at some point, I'm going to put this back through the wash, and I'm going to put it back to the state where it doesn't have the black fucking smudges on it, and they'll never happen again now. Now that I know what it was. It drove me into a state, basically. And I was just like, fucking hell. Because, like, I stitch at my desk, I stitch at my computer, because I watch things on my computer, or I stitch while I'm gaming. So, it's gonna happen at my desk, if it's gonna happen. I'm, like, running out of space to put things. That fabric needs to be catalogued. That can go back into there. Okay. Almost time. New start. Okay, so for the new start, it's kind of attached to some haul. What I ended up doing in the last, like, 2 or 3 days of June was I started this. Oh, the camera's there. So this is the Quirky Quaker Jellyfish. It's by, is it Darling and Whimsy Designs. And it was like a partnership with Cottage Garden Threads. Because, being end of financial year here in Australia, a lot of places do, like, big end of financial year sales. So I bought some stuff from Cottage Garden Threads, and I decided to buy this with the matching floss. So I've already put the matching floss into here. There are 2 colours in the floss. So the floss is called QQ Jellyfish, but it's, what are the flosses? They're on the pattern. It's a few strands of Foxgloves and Mabel from Cottage Garden Threads. So I started that and finished it. I just used this tiny piece of purple and kind of bluey green teal fabric that I had in my stash from Color Cascades. It is 20 count. It is a 20 count. I started it and I finished it. Took me like 2 nights of stitching. So there are 2 colorways. There's like the blue to the yellow with a bit of green in there. And then there's it's It's like a pink and a brown almost. But it's stitched up really quickly. And this is the first time I've ever done anything that's like a Quaker design. So I kind of now see the appeal of Quakers. Which is good, because I have an order arriving this week that has a, like, there was a specific pattern that I was looking for, that I've seen on Flosstube, and I've just decided I have to have it, and that is the They Come by Night, or They Come at Night, by Fox and Rabbit Designs. It's the four moths. So I ordered that one, and then when I was on that website ordering that, because not a lot of places in Australia have the Fox and Rabbit designs, especially not that one because it's one of the newer ones, I also found that they have a whole series of them. So I found the Lady Beater one in the same store, so I got that. And then I was like, well, while I'm here, I'll just have a look at some other stuff. I'm getting a Mill Hill kit that's a bee, because I like bees. And there's also a Halloween Quaker that I found as well. And I was like, it's on sale, I'll throw that in too. So I'm going to try a bigger Quaker and see how that goes. But yeah, also, American Stitchers who watch me, I would love some assistance tracking down and locating the other three bug patterns from Fox and Rabbit Designs, because I cannot find them in Australia. Particularly the dragonfly one, because I need that to live. But I want to get, there's a butterfly, there's a bee one, and I want to get the one that's got the 4 around. So like the 4 kind of mandala ones. So if there's anyone that wants to help me smuggle some into Australia, I would love that. I mean, strictly in the legal sense, of course, but like, I can't find them in Australia, and now I need them, because now I know there's a series, and I can't leave it incomplete. So that is a start and a finish, and no obsession. This is where we're at. In terms of haul from Cottage Garden, I got the Quirky Quaker stuff, and then I got 2 sets of flosses, and then a single random one just to sort of round it up. But I'll show those off in a few. WIP go for this month. This is chaotic. This is not planned or organised. WIP go for this month. 1 project. This WIP got called twice. But only because I realised I made a mistake with my WIP go board. So, sometime previously in WIP go, one of the other months, 24 was called. My brain has not processed, looking at my WIP go board, that I picked 23 instead of 24, because I have dyscalculia. Numbers make my brain go blue screen. So I worked on project 23 instead of 24. 24 should have been finishing one of the animals on the jungle sow. 23 was working on my Fall of Arthas project for the 1,000 stitches. So that should have been the call for this month, but because I'd already done it, all I did in my board was I just made the Arthas project 24, and I've made the jungle sow animal finish 23. So I fucked up. But what that means is, because the other number that was called for this month is 6, which is finish the jungle sow, I am monogamous stitching this month. And this is probably one of my oldest WIPs. So, here is a photo of where it was up to when I started at the month, because I've already been stitching on it. I wasn't looking forward to it. Again, this is a project that I've kind of grown to hate a little bit. And the last time I was working on this was with my ex. And I used to take it to their place on family dinner nights and sit there and stitch while we watched TV and stuff. So not the greatest connotations around it, but when I picked it up, it was I have 3 top animals left to do, although now I have finished the monkey, and you can see I did some stitching on the tiger, today, actually. So that's going on. And there's I think it's a chameleon in this one. This is an old stitch along. This is frosted pumpkin stitchery. And I'm just going to put the needle in so it's not flapping around. And I'm stitching this on 14, I think it's 14 count. It might be 16. But considering the age of this project, it's probably 14 count. And it is Opal Ada from Color Cascades in the colorway Silver Springs, which is a really versatile one. And look at the fucking spuckle. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this project. So I've got the 3 animals along the top to do, and then there's the big banner that says, you know, into the jungle, with the leaves and everything like that. And then there's a little border down the bottom as well that I need to do, and then it will be finished. The animals in the boxes are all stitched as called. The only thing that I've subbed out are the actual borders. So they've all been stitched in different hand-dyed flosses from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. Did I write down which ones were used for what box? Of course not. But I do have... So Sage by Fiberlicious is going to be the one that I do the borders for the top and the bottom banner. And then everything else is going to be called for. I don't know if I'm gonna, because it says into the jungle, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep that as charted or if I'm gonna change that floss too. We'll find out. We'll see what happens when I get to that, but already been stitching on it, and I wasn't looking forward to stitching on it, but then I've remembered now how quickly it does stitch up. So maybe I'm not gonna say that I'm enjoying it, but I am kind of now looking forward to working on it for the sole fact that if I finish it this month, if I finish it in enough time, then I just have free stitchy time and I can just stitch on whatever the fuck I want. Which means I might be able to finish my partner's housewarming gift or just another project. So that'll be cool. So now I guess we'll get into... I'll do this little bit of haul, and then we'll do the WIP parade. Yes? Well, haul is basically, I have a pattern. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? That is a good damn question. There. Okay. They have fallen down. Okay, so those are WIPs. They can sit there. So, because I'm doing reenactment, I have found some, like, old reliefs and stuff like that of, like, embroidery and cross-stitching in the 14th century, because the reenactment group is 14th century English peasants. So it's very, very specific and precise. But because I don't do the archery side of things, because it is mostly an archery group, because physically my shoulders don't like it, what we've sort of done is discussed having me just sort of sit there and do some cross-stitching. So I'm working on some plans to make a 14th century embroidery stand. One that I can adjust if I'm sitting in my wheelchair, or if I'm sitting on another seat, I can adjust it, but subtly adjust it so that it's not looking too modern to look like a standard cross-stitch frame. It's kind of like, it's almost like a tambour frame with a trestle, with 2 trestle stands underneath it. It's kind of cool looking. But I wanted to have a project that also kind of looked like it was going to be that. Fabric is going to be easy to source, so I've not done that yet. Floss is going to be easy to source. I've already got... there is a certain one from Silks For You that I'm going to get. It's just like a brown kind of thing. This is the pattern. It is fucking huge. There are 5 ways that you can stitch it. This is the Mermaid Follies. Mermaid's Folly is by the Courtney collection. I was having trouble getting, because I couldn't find it stocked in any Australian stores. But now that Color Cascades are doing fabric and stuff again, they've also put in a, like, request an item kind of thing, so that if they can find it with a supplier, they can get it. kind of thing. So I was like, hey, can you see if you can get it? So I did. So it cost me significantly less than I was looking at if I was going to try and source it from the States directly. And this thing is fucking huge. Like, there's 5 ways to stitch it. You can either do the entire thing, or you can do the old man and mermaid, the mermaid and dragon, or the dragon. I'm leaning towards the mermaid and dragon. Because I don't know about doing all of it. I don't like the fact that he's grabbing on her. Not really a fan of that, hey. That makes me uncomfy. But, yeah. If I do mermaid and dragon, it's 18 pages. And they've got, like, their size chart is actually really good. Like, it kind of gives you an idea of how much it's going to be for each one, and it's got a couple of different counts on there. So, I don't know what count I'm going to do yet. I think it will depend on what happens with the frame, because I want to get the frame sorted first, because if I can make the frame so that I can scroll the fabric on the sides rather than the top, then I'll probably do 18 count, because it's my comfort. If I can't do that, then I may look into a higher count, so that I don't need as big of a piece of fabric, so I'm not trying to manage extra fabric while at reenactment events, because as I discovered yesterday, they get really muddy and stuff if the ground is soft, and I got bogged so many times yesterday. That's partly why I'm not there today, because the ground was going to be way worse today than it was yesterday, and yesterday I had to actually get out of my chair and drag my chair out of the mud a whole bunch of times. So I don't want to do that again today. So, yeah. That is the goal. That is haul for that. And then I just have the box of flosses from Cottage Garden Threads. I probably should have, like, pre-set these up. But again, we don't plan here. So that's rainbow. That's rainbow. Basically, I've got 2 sets and then 1 random. So the 2 sets I got was the Witchy Stitcher collab, because I wanted that. And the other one I got was the Rainbow collection. So the random one that I got, just to round it up, is Xavier, which is like grey and green. It's really nice. And then the Witchy Stitcher collab, we've got Black Ichor. There's Witchy Night and Putrid Purple, which, I mean, it's kind of like a red purple. So it's showing a bit brighter on here, but it's a bit darker in real life. Ashes to Ashes is a dark grey. There is Charred Pumpkin, which is, again, darker than it is showing there. There is Ghost Sheet. And there is Swamp Water. Just got a bit more variegation in it. Then I also got the Rainbow collection. So the Rainbow collection has a bunch of, like, slightly variegated ones. So there's these 3. So it's Bottle Brush, Moonstone, and Lemon Myrtle. And then there is Hummingbird and Cocoon. And then there's some that have got more variegation in them. So there's Cosmos, Ezra, Rainbow, Sprinkles, and Daydream. There's those. The only other stash that I have is like stuff that I got at the craft show that I went to. But they didn't have a cross stitch stand there. They had some embroidery stands there, so I did get some sparkly blending filaments that I've already put in these bags. These are from Cascade House Embroidery. I also got a piece of fabric from them, because they did have They had some even weave in 25 count, and it's like mottled grey. So it's really nice. But that's all I got in terms of stitchy stash. Everything else was non-stitchy stuff. Cascade House did do an embroidery class as well, but it was a fucking nightmare. Both me and my housemate had a really, really bad time with it. In that she triggered basically both of us. And like it triggered like the rejection sensitive dysphoria kind of stuff. Because like at one point, like we were doing French knots, we'd gotten to French knots. And she did a French knot to demonstrate, but every time she'd demonstrate, she did it with her back to me. So I could actually see it. And then she'd turn to me specifically and like expect me to do it. And I'm like, I didn't see what you fucking did. I didn't see it. I can't replicate what I can't see. But because I've done some stitching and stuff, I was like, I know the basics of a French knot. So I did one, and I legitimately did the neatest fucking French knot I've ever done in my entire life. And she looked at it, and she just goes, no, and then walked away. And I'm just like, what do you mean no? What did I do wrong? You don't just say no without saying, oh, like, you know, maybe you need to do it this way, maybe you need to do this. This is what it should look like. What is no? What is no? And that's basically the entire class. She just kept doing that a lot to me, my housemate. And, like, she would show, like, her whole thing was like, this is the right way to do embroidery. And that was, like, instantly kind of putting me, like, and this is your way to do embroidery. And we're here to learn from you about your way to do it, but there's never ever just, like, one way to do things. Like, very rarely. So then she was continually like, no, you've got to tension the floss this way or hold the fabric this way, and you've got to, like, wrap it around your fingers and do this. And I'm like, I understand, like, I'm happy for you to show me the way that you do it and the way that you hold it and what the end goal is, but I am going to have to modify that because my hands do not do that because I have EDS. So they're not going to hold the tension the same way that you do. I don't have the same range of movement to, like, do these things and stuff. And, like, the way that she was wanting me to do a colonial knot was requiring me to have to go like this around the fabric, because she's like, no, it all has to be one movement. You can't stop in the middle of the movement. It's like, but I physically can't fucking do it. So it was painful. It was embarrassing. It was just a really bad time. So I am not going back to embroidery for a little while after that, which is a shame because there's some cool stuff in embroidery, but I could not deal with it. And we ended up both leaving early because we were just like, nah, we're done. So yeah, we ended up actually just leaving the craft show in general because I was just like, nope, I feel like shit. I feel like a failure. I want to go home and curl up and cry. That's, yeah. So embroidery didn't work out to us too well, but they did have some stuff available to buy, and I'd bought that earlier in the day. I may have not done that if I'd done the embroidery first. So yeah, I think now we are up to WIP Parade, now that I've talked for way too fucking long already. So one of these WIPs I cannot show because it is a present, and I don't think my partner watches, but I don't want to risk it. But, like, there's a sneaky back. That one I would like to get finished this month if we can. If I can. Why did we? I mean, I know I refer to myself as 3 goblins in a trench coat, but, like, I'm not actually 3 goblins. So, whips. We have Flossie Fox Stitch Along. So this is Mystery Stitch Along. It has actually finished now. I'm just behind. This is not my usual type of stitching, but I am actually really enjoying it. They're super cute, and like the little fox and the dragons and the sleepy and the axolotl dragon, and like, yeah. This is a piece of fabric from Color Cascades. I might have written down somewhere. I'm just checking my Trello board where I keep some details. If I'm behaving, not always. I have not. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is where this is at the moment. We'll see about getting it done. I do have finish this on the WIP Go board as well, so it'll probably get called at some point. Big ass projects, because it's just the next bag. So these bags are all from Deb's Threads Designs, because I've only got 5. I'm waiting for new ones so that I can have a different one for every project, because that's really cool. I didn't show off the one that Hilton's in, but this is my biggest project, and this is one of my other oldest WIPs. So this is the Fall of Arthas. This is charted by the Sprite Stitch forum that used to be around. I don't know if it's still active or not. The artwork is by Breathing 2004 on DeviantArt, and it is World of Warcraft fan art. So that is Arthas in the middle. It's a big ass Sindragosa, and there's different panels regarding Arthas's life and some of the various lore bits and pieces. It is stained glass style, so that's why I've done like the outline. You can see when I started the project, I started to do colour, and then I decided to just go for doing all of the outline, well, most of it. This bit of outline is all 939, so lots and lots of 939. This project needs a wash. It is a little dirty and stuff because it is old. I used to put it this way. I started this when Illidan was a kitten, and we'd only just adopted him. Because when I started this, I used to sit on the lounge, and there was so much extra fabric that it was almost like a blanket for me, and Illidan used to curl up at the bottom of it. And I have photos for that. I'll pop one in, because Illidan used to be a tiny baby before he was a big chunky douchebag. So that is that one. And that is a digital pattern now. These all started as physical patterns, but I converted them into Pattern Keeper because I like Pattern Keeper. I really do. So go back out of that one. Fall of Arthas. There's 18 count. It is overall 163.5 thousand stitches. I've done 22,881, which is 13.99% of the project. So that is that one. I'm just going to leave that there so I can grab it. Next big ass project, Jason bag. Oh, I don't have the other WIP. I have a travel WIP that I don't have in front of me. And I think it is on the back of my door, and I'm not going to do that because it's in my handbag. It lives in my handbag. Alright, so this one is another big ass project. This is not got a lot of work on it. There's not much on it at all. There is legitimately this much. So this is Besna from Unconventional Cross Stitch. There is a total of 119,000 stitches in this project. I have done 1,111, which is 0.93% of the project. I've not done a lot on it, but I did start to put some greens in. I have directional challenges. I am directionally challenged. It happens in video games too. It's just like, oh, I need to go to this place. Oh no, I've been traveling in the wrong direction. So yeah, that one is a newer one. I started that, I want to say at the end of 2022. Literally at like the 30th of December. It has not been a project for long. So there's not a lot on it. This one, I believe this is the I think this is Ravenkin. Is it? Yes. Okay. So this one is Mini Ravenkin. So it's a Heaven and Earth design. It is now retired because the artwork is by Selena Fennick. I just realized, what one did I just pull out? Yeah, Unconventional Cross Stitch. I don't know who the artist is off the top of my head. Yeah, so this one is former Heaven and Earth design artist Selena Fennick. Fennick. I never know how to pronounce it. I've literally met her and still cannot pronounce the last name properly. But this is where we're at. This is a mini. So it has 74,425 stitches. I've done 16,247. And I'm 21.83% through. So down the bottom here, like the last time I picked it up, I just worked on starting to fill in some of this space here because these little checkerboard bits were a stitch along challenge in the Heaven and Earth Facebook group when I was still active in it. I'm still unsure about, I haven't been into the group lately, so I've just kind of been working in the background. I've not gone in to see if there's any sort of nuanced discussions on AI being allowed yet. Because, yeah, that's been a thing. But, yeah, we'll see. I'm still going to try and get to the WIPs that, like, try and get to finishes for the projects that I've got for them, because I don't want to retire them, but, yeah. And then this one is another Heaven and Earth design. I don't think this one is retired. This is a mini as well. I've not picked this one up this year yet. It hasn't been called yet. So maybe I'll pick up this later on. We'll see. But I have this much done of it. So this is the mini Voodoo and Violet. The artist is Jasmine Beckett Griffith. You have words that you just can't say properly. Your mouth just doesn't want to cooperate. It has 725 stitches. I've done 5,104. And it is 6.74%. So it's not a 10% yet. A lot of these aren't, to be completely honest. I don't have percentage goals, but I'm wondering if maybe next year I do set some percentage goals instead of stitch numbers for WIPCO. I'm playing with ideas. Oh yeah, that's the kit for Medusa Dollmaker Folk Witch. I found it on eBay. I have a bunch of like little kits and stuff in here. There used to be this magazine we used to get in Australia. I don't know if it was anywhere else. And I still have some of the patterns and stuff. So it was the, what was the magazine called? Cross Stitch Magic? And there's a whole series of them. They came out like every month. When I started cross stitching way back in the day, I used to get these. So I still have some of the kits and stuff around. So I've got a bunch of them in there. Plus there's some like old magazine kits because I can never consistently find the magazines and I couldn't afford a subscription. So I've just got random bits and pieces all over the place. There's a WIP. So I'm going through my thing too. So I've got the Frosted Pumpkin. I've got Tank Girl, which is in the coffin, which is a normal sentence. Yes, okay, so I've only got a handful of WIPs. This is why I'm thinking I might want to start some more, because I'm just like, it's really low number. I don't have many. Compared to some of the other ones that I've been watching where there's like 100 and stuff, and I'm just like, I could start some more. So this is Raven by Nora Corbett. I am stitching this on, I think this one is Sorcerer by Color Cascade Fabrics. I know I have the little tag somewhere. I'm stitching this, yes it is, it's Sorcerer. It's 18 count, it's been folded up, but this is where I'm at for this one. I'm doing all of the Bewitching Pixies from Nora Corbett, except for the two that are like the face profile ones. I don't know about those ones yet. But I'm doing all of the Bewitching Pixies on blue fabrics. Because I've done Emmy in the past, and I have most of the other ones, if not all of them, kitted up, ready to go with fabric. I think some of them I might need to buy beads for, but most of them should have bead packs. But that is, I mean, they stitch up really quickly because they're small. So there's the beads in there for Raven. And I started this one. Do I have it on here? It's 18 count. Sorcerer, Color Cascades, who's also like where I kitted up most of these to begin with. What I might actually do, can I pull it out without knocking stuff over? Yes. So, I do actually have a stitchy journal. I printed it out and put it in this folder, and I don't use it because I forget that it exists, even though it sits literally right next to me. I am not good at it. I've actually not even updated what projects have finished or anything, so... And like half the pages are not actually finished. I don't have the start dates on a bunch of these. There we go, Mini Voodoo and Violet. So with the Voodoo doll, started in January 2018. The Wolf Kit, I started in May of 2016. Tank Girl, which I'll pull out, I started in February of 2022. Yep, Besna was the 28th of December 2022. Pretty Little Sydney has finished. That one has been finished. That one doesn't have a start date on it. I need to go back through my Instagram posts and have a look there to see if I can find the start dates, and I'll put them somewhere, but like, I have the cross-stitch journal pages are from the Witchy Stitcher, from the Witchy Stitcher Patreon, and I think they release them like regularly as well, but I've got them and I've printed them out, and I started filling everything in, and like I was using it to track how many stitches I was doing, and I was doing kind of well, and then I just fell off. So like, it's even got a stitch diary, and you can see I started it and then just promptly fucking stopped. And this is the problem with the ADHD, is that I just stop. And like, you can see, like, January, I was keeping track of some stitches, and then I didn't stitch for a little while in January. I don't remember what happened, but something did. And can I turn the pages from this angle? Probably not. My hands are not going to cooperate. And then, yeah, February, empty. March, empty. I think they're all probably going to be empty. I just can't count the pages in general. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, I started again in April, and I did 3 days in April, and then stopped again, and there's been nothing else since. And like, it sits next to me, it's in my eyeline, but I just don't do it. So, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is for that, to make my brain better. So, I don't have a lot of stats. I don't keep a lot of stats. I've seen some people talking about, like, Notion and stuff, to keep track of them, but I don't know if I want to get stuck into, like, spending time to set up a new thing, and then eventually fail it. But, yeah. So far this year, I have finished 2 of the small Satsuma Street Halloween kits, and 3 other projects. So 2 of them have been starts and finishes for this year, and then one's been a long-term finish. So if we can get the Frosted Pumpkin Jungle one done, that will be good. And then I think if Raven gets called, yeah, so if Raven gets called for WIP Go, it'll be a finish, will be the goal as well. And then the rest are just like big ass project progresses. Can you stop? This is sort of me. They'll be sleeping, like one of them will be sleeping on the bed, and then the other one will be like, hey, I'm gonna come cuddle up with you, and then they're just like, no, I will not tolerate you being in my space. It's more than enough bed for both of them. I realised I was going to show Tank Girl. I haven't yet. So, the Tank Girl coffin. Lots and lots of stickers, because this used to be my dice coffin for D&D. And then I didn't have enough space in this coffin to keep my dice in. So now it is the Tank Girl coffin. And then I also have another one, not as decorated, and that is all of the floss cards and the floss for the other Gecko Rouge kit, which is the Medusa Dollmaker Folk Witch. For when I start that. Maybe I'll start it. We'll get crazy. These are being worked off the PDFs as well, so I have the PDFs for these. So I do keep the floss cards, because if I need to, I can just pop the floss back on them. And just keep them as like random floss, and like if I'm teaching someone how to stitch or something, I've got some random floss I can use. So bobbinated them all. And then Tank Girl is... Actually, I just realised I closed my tablet. And I need the pattern keeper back open because it's a digital pattern. Alright, so this one is Tank Girl. This is where I am at. She has a face. She has a bit of a hand. This is a Gecko Rouge kit, so I'm using all the kit flosses. The artwork is by Megan, and I want to say Mars. Thinking Megan Mars. That's what is in my brain. But that is where she is at too. She is 4.93% of the way through. I should just do some stitches on her and bring it to 5. We'll see. Overall, the project has 68,880 stitches, and I've done 3,399. When I was stitching on this last, why did I not just, like, round that off? Oh my god, I hate past me for not making that like an even number. Like, I could have just done either one of those to an even number, either a 5% or to a strict, like, 3,400. Like, that would have been easy. Past me's a dick. So yeah. Project coffins. They're actually really good. And I have actually been thinking, this Halloween, if I can find any more of these little boxes, I might get a couple of small ones. Because I just think they're cool. I just think they're cool, and you can put so many things in them. So that one's going to go away eventually, and I'm going to pack all this stuff up. I also have, this is my emergency fairy floss, so if I'm feeling hangry or anything, I have emergency fairy floss. I have Galaxy Pop Rocks and Cookies and Cream. They'll take me like a full month and a bit to eat, absolutely, because I don't eat much of it. But I am also starting to get my snack stash sorted, because next month, is it next month? Is it August? I think it's August. Can't load, please. Yes, so yeah, so August, I'm going to lose a bunch of stitchy time late in the month, because the next World of Warcraft expansion comes out. I've already booked my leave from work, so I'm taking a couple of days off so that I can just sit and play and level and just immerse myself in it. So I'm also starting to get all of my snacks prepared for that. So it's going to be a mixture of, I mean, like, there's going to be some, like, sugar and, like, candy snacks because I have a sweet tooth. But there's going to be, like, a bunch of, like, healthier snacks and stuff too. Balance is a good thing. But yeah, I'm going to lose some Stitchy time in August for WoW expansion. Also, the remake, the remaster of Age of Mythology comes out in 40-something days, I think. But it comes out soon, and I'm really excited for that because I also really, really love the Age of Empire, Age of Mythology games. So, yeah, there's lots of gaming stuff happening. There's lots of gaming stuff happening. I have to go and finish my KSM in WoW, so I might go and try and grab my friends and see if they're free, maybe do some keys after I've done editing this and getting it uploaded. But, yeah, I'm going to leave some photos of the buildings that are in the Pretty Little Sydney, once again, just for reference. I'm not going to iron this, I'm just going to put it in the box. I don't want to look at it anymore. It irritates me. I just want to put it away now. It's nothing against the designer, because, like, I love the Satsuma Street stuff. It's just, I'm not super into, like, yeah, like, I live in a city, and the city is sometimes kind of cool, but, like, it's also just a place. And sometimes when you go to a place, it's fun, and then sometimes when you go to a place, it's just a place, and it's, why did I it's, yeah. I was definitely, in the time, just like, no, I don't want to miss out on the Stitch Along, and I want to do the things with people, and just, yeah. But it's finished now, so I don't have to look at it again. But I'm going to go. I'm going to edit this, I'll get it uploading, I will continue to stitch, and I don't know, I might even just start the Haunting on Hill House, because that's next in the list. It's technically before the Haunting of Bly Manor, but I messed the order up a little bit, so yeah, might do that. I think maybe tonight we'll watch some horror, do some stitchy, do some chill times, unless people are available to do keys, and then I'll do that instead, or just, I don't know, we're playing by ear, we're winging it. There was no plan to it today. There's no plan ever. But thank you for watching. I don't mind blank. I don't know what. Okay, so I'm gonna go do stitchy, go do other stuff, go do edity, do those things. I hope everybody else has a good stitchy month, and just a good month in general. Like, the world is a super fucked up place at the moment, so, like, any little moments of, like, joy or happiness, or just even just chill, low spoon kind of vibing, absolutely needed. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you probably next month at some point. Hopefully a little bit earlier, we'll see how we go.